Any bang noises. It doesn't mean Al Qaeda's moved in, it's November the 5th. Is there, and there's my living room window, and I want you to know this whole house is in darkness. Okay. And we're off. I'm currently still halfway down the path between my street and the house. I'm going to take a walk up here. I'm now going over my driveway. I'm now approaching his property, and I'm going to show that his vehicle is there and his house is in darkness. Mine's is next door, that's his vehicle. Currently back on my drive again, from the front this time. That's my living room window, that is his property. That light is the light to the southwest of my south facing garden to the side of my house. The videos I've published before have shown there was a light on in the bedroom, etc. I knew something was going to happen. I just wasn't sure what. Like the thuds on the wall at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's watching trolls, and gets ideas. I've shown its vehicles there. This time all its lights are off, and it wasn't expecting me to go up to the front of its property and film its vehicle. I'm now in the south garden, and that is the light that I showed you from outside, kind of to the east of my property to the southwest. And as you can see, there's no change. Once again, I shall come to the front of the property, feeling brave. Give my leg a walk as well because it's bloody sore, and back on my driveway again. Again, that's my vehicle there, and that's my house. Its property is to the right there. And I will demonstrate how it has blocked itself from access to the right with the van and the camper van. That is its vehicle, and as you can see, lights are off in the property. Because every other time I have videoed, I've shown the bedroom light on and the curtain slightly open. I never say the effects on me because it would just feed off it whilst hidden. I'm now going back towards the property. Currently we've got 0.9215, it's all over the shop basically. Averaging about 0.8 to 1.3. But remember, this is a much lower reading than actual, because as I've mentioned before, I'm only getting the left hand side of the EMF spike that's at a much higher frequency. I'm just skimming the edge of it. There's a light again to the southwest of the garden. And absolutely no change. Switch the beeper off now. You know the procedure. Back in the house. Up to 215 now, 247, 263. Increasing as I go to the property where it was much lower. Again, this is my window here, and as you can see, its property is in darkness and its vehicles are both there. Continues inside. I just need one for continuity. Wasn't expecting that. Excuse me. Before I left, isn't it? It's all about patience, sitting in the dark for hours. As I I say, don't try and relate what is occupying that property, building, pile of bricks, adjoining my property as a human being. It is anything but. And that's why it gives itself an identity very different from what it is. As I say, I had to tell doctors of the outside world knew it by a different identity. So it shows you how little they know about it. It only tells them what it wants them to know. It's not going to tell a doctor what it is. Sitting in the dark and pretending it's not there is one of its favourite pastimes. As I say, don't look at it as a person. It is anything but. It is far removed from a person as you know it. Killing me, it would just say it wasn't me, as if somebody said, who farted. Yeah. Because the only thing it's concerned about, they do have fear. They don't understand danger. They do have fear. This is why it's a gutless crowd, playing little games. You just see a flashing light, don't you? You just see a flashing light. Don't you find it odd that that flashing light is never a constant flashing light with higher numbers before I go out this house? And when I go out, suddenly it is. And it started not when I left the house, not when I got to the curbside, but this time when I was halfway back from the curbside to my house, and I thought, well, I better stop and film the situation here, because I've noticed now it's made changes. At 5 to 9 last night, the 4th of November, I published a video. The same thing, kind of thing. And I also state on it, I say at the end of the video, when I'm a little chat, how it previously would thud my walls repeatedly, and it all changed to one knock after I said, I've got cameras that can record all day and night. And Four hours and 5 minutes later, at 1 minute to 1 in the morning of the 5th of November today, it starts repeatedly thudding the bedroom wall. That is its friend Neil R. out there shouting his fake name, because it wouldn't be happy that I went round the front of the house. I wasn't expecting that, because it was expecting to say I wasn't in, it couldn't have been me. And I thought the only way I can prove this is to very carefully film the fact that his vehicles are there, and then I demonstrated what I said, how he has blockaded the left hand side of his property to make sure nobody can get in. And every time it feels threatened, it calls out Neil R. And as you see, Neil R is here while this is happening. I wasn't expecting that one, was it? I can throw a curveball as well. I have to prove it is in. It is not one to go for a nighttime stroll. start off with. I'll use the other one, which works on a different principle, but I wanted continuity, so I didn't want to use two. But this will be going like the clappers as well, no doubt. So give it time to soak it up. Oops, forgot my little scientific continuity thing, as you do. Just give me a second here. This is the RF meter at the LF600 setting just now, and it's showing 0.06 microtesla. Right next to these. I'm getting the same H field reading as I always do. I'm 0.02, 0.03 microtesla in the LF30 range, which is more sensitive. Which yet again, as I have repeatedly stated, is demonstrating that the H field, as you note for the normal stuff, i.e. kind of your 50 to 60 Hz stuff, 55 Hz stuff, is perfectly normal. Kind of thing. There's nothing coming from mains kind of operated appliances or anything, unless they are operating above 10. Wasn't paying attention. As I say, unless they're operating the national grid above 10 kHz, which I very much doubt that they are. So yet again, demonstrating that what we're getting is transmitted RF above 10 kHz, way above 10 kHz, and also the fact that, as I say, it loses absolutely no power with distance because it's collimated, and i.e., as the analogy I gave in one of my earlier videos, imagine a light bulb and it's just totally exposed, it goes in all directions, put a reflector on one side and it's all reflected in one direction in a parallel manner, if you get the curve right, yeah, and the parabola right. And I don't sound like a clever person, do I? I never classed my doctor says, she says, you're very clever. I said, no, I'm not, I just think about things. She thinks I'm a Spurgeon. I'm inclined to agree. This is science and swearing. No, it's kind of, I don't hold back now. I hardly ever used to swear, but I do a lot now. And put it this way, if you're in this situation, you would be swearing, you'd be round there with a baseball bat and put his head in. It would then say, I'm a victim. This is why it's always hidden, you see. It doesn't want to be seen doing what it does. And as you heard Neil R there, he's a night creature as well. And they were not expecting me, because there's like, I'll switch my lights off, so I'm no in. And so I decided to go for the sod this. You're doing all this to me, and I'm going to prove that you are in. Twice. It wasn't expecting that as it's watching from its dark dwelling. You know. And so immediately it calls out Neil R, because the child feels frightened. I'll remind you, Neil R is the one that arrived on the 20th September 2013, down at the bottom and up again on its Harley Davidson. Once it just got dark, of course, it was about 7:45 in the evening, and then it turns up in its van, and revving like hell outside with a Harley Davidson. I'm on the phone to my mum. She says, you better go outside and make sure they don't do anything. So I sit on the step outside, I'm still on the phone to mum, and it next door starts shouting oi in the C word. I say, oh, did you hear that? She goes, yeah, I do. And he comes straight up to my hedge, standing there, I went, oi. Well, I actually did it a couple of times, and he comes up to my hedge, and he says it quite aggressively to me at the hedge, and I'm stood up by then. He goes, oi, and uses the C word, and so I just hold the phone up and said, caught you. And here's the thing, it went, oh, hello, and I just said to it, what's that going to achieve? And it was immediately in a tantrum in its house, slamming doors. It calls out Simon M as well, because it needs its little human shield. Remember I told you, they're gutless shits. Neil R, you don't see it for dust, because he realises, oh, I've been caught, because it's just as gutless as the rest of them are. But then Neil R comes back again. This confuses me, and he tries to come to my front door, where I've by that time got police officers in my house, and the police officers basically tell him to piss off whilst I'm talking to the police officers, because Neil R knows if he goes back to his house and what's going on, the police might go down to his house, and his wife finds out what he really gets up to when he goes to go and see Robin, you know. And so that's why it did a U-turn, shitting itself, because I'm quite certain Neil R's wife doesn't have a clue, yeah, because they're all bullshitters. They're all the same. They're not just following my leader here, they're all one and the same. Birds of a feather, arseholes together. They all disappear and hide when they think they're going to get caught. They're quite happy dishing it out, but they don't like any punishment for dishing it out. Yeah? They're all tick the same. So say you heard that voice outside, Robin, Robin, Robin. It likes the sound of its own voice. I think it went to the Brown Blessed School of GOBSHITERY, and yeah, it's that Neil R's was the one, I remember 2009 kind of thing. I wasn't feeling very well, and Neil R's got this habit of bringing vehicles up here, and him and Robin working on them when all the neighbours are away, and only me, and they're revving like hammering like shit. And I went out and said, can you stop it please, I'm trying to hit a rest. And that Neil R comes up to me and says, you can have a rest when he has a rest from working on cars. There we go. That gives you a good idea into the background of the guy who has studied and got a black belt and honours degree in gobshitery. So yet again I will quickly demonstrate. That light, the light on this only stays on for a short time unless I select it. So here we go. Below 10 kilohertz, that's 10,000 hertz. We're at 0.0 fuck all microtesla, you see? But yet, as I say, it's the usual, it's the gradual kind of incremental decline, descent, whatever word you want to use. I said I'd only thought I'd stick with this one. This is the one I was using, yeah. Now, I'm a bit crafty as well. Sometimes you'll say, oh, it's got the one with the green and yellow tape on it. That comes off and it fits on that one as well, believe it or not. So it will never know which one I'm using. Cunning? No, that's intelligence. That's the difference. Switching lights off and pretending you're not in is only going to make, well, how you're actually doing this to somebody is only going to make the person that you're actually doing it to say, okay, I'm going to prove that you are in. Because yet again, this shows the changes, just like thudding my was constantly at 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, when I mentioned it 4 hours and 5 minutes previously on a video that I posted then, i.e. 5 to 9 in the evening on the 4th of November, and then at 1 minute to 1 o'clock in the morning on the 5th of November, it starts repeatedly fist thudding the bedroom wall, which I am directly below with camera running. And that carried on over the next couple of minutes in staggered gradients. Science was swearing, it's great. And yeah, so in all the videos I've shown, when I go outside, I'm proving a point. The point I'm making is the fact that I pretty well established it's coming from his bedroom, and the fact that it lives in the bedroom, which when searched was no electrical equipment whatsoever, not even a TV. Now that's not just happened in the last kind of couple of months, that's been like that for years. And proving the point, if you see what I mean, especially when, as I say on the thumbnail for the video, warning, remove all electrics and television from room prior to working on shelves, on wardrobe, apparently. It comes with all IKEA instructions. If you've got one of the IKEA wardrobes, the first thing is it's a really big strong kind of modification warning on the front. Ensure you have removed all the electrics from the room and taken the television from off the wall and removed as well prior to constructing this wardrobe. It's one of the most severe safety hazards there is out there, is adjusting shelves in the wardrobe with any electrical equipment in your room. It is hellishly dangerous. I would not recommend it. The last time I saw somebody doing that, they were drinking Pepsi Max. You have got to entertain yourself in this kind of surreal situation where you have to remind yourself that you are adjoining Bates Motel, and not just that, Mr. Bates, let's call him Master Bates, yeah, Master Bates, yeah, that's a good one, yeah. It's kind of got his little waiter service as well that just kind of jump at his slightest click of the fingers, yeah. He was out there filming, I wasn't expecting that. My house is in darkness to pretend I'm no in, and he came round and he started filming that my van was there and everything else. Oh, that's no good. Hold my hand, what do I do? You see what I mean? You have no idea of what it is doing on my health. And I'm going to do everything to put that bastard away. And the rest of them. Yeah, so if that's the Bates Motel, that makes him Master Bates. That's a good one. I'm sticking with that. Notice as well that meal R, because it's dark, has to shout kind of outside. A bit of voice identification, because it's not going to open its door to any Tom, Dick and Harry. leave this running. I say, just focus on one thing. This kind of running is just reduced, but I'm not confusing the issue. I avoid clutter. I can record any at one time. It's best to keep things uncluttered and focus on one thing. At any time I can bring that up and show stuff. But what's the point? The whole point is I do things scientifically. And demonstrate the changes, coincidences. I don't like the way that sounds actually when I say that. I'm trying to change it. Coincidences. Because it all sounds like coincidence with the way I say it on the camera. And it's not. That's it. These chance question mark happenings. How's that? Asterisks. Happenings are not matters of chance. Because it watches, trolls the channel. By the way, if you say trolling, there's no such word as trolling, it's trolls. Troll or trolls. It watches, as you see, you see it with the spectrum analyzer, all the changes, etc. How everything else changes. You don't see its gardeners down every day for a little noise campaign when I'm the only person in the street. And as last night at 1 o'clock in the morning demonstrates, the soundproofing is quite an illusion, kind of the halo effect to onlookers. You know what I mean? The decent front with the hidden agenda. So why was it keen to rip the balls down? It's a stalker. What do you think it's doing? I've got recordings on my hard drive where I was clicking on a mouse and it started clicking on the living room wall as I clicked on the mouse, and so I put a camera on top of one of the, in fact on top of that picture there, facing back into the room, and as I clicked on the mouse, because the camera's against the wall, picks it up. That is what we're on about. It's all about patience. I mean, there's a reason I put that clip from the Lovely Bones, not just the concealment, and that's, I could have just left it there, but there's that thing afterwards that says it's all about concealment, patience, sitting in the dark for hours. Oh, I remember us played that to my neighbour friend Moira. She went, oh aye, that's him, because she knows what it's like, what it does. Yeah, she has seen it in action. As I said, PhD student, there's nothing to write with him. And then Simon M, kind of the plumber at the bottom of the street, oh him, he's trying to make pals with me, but I've nothing to do with him. And there's Moira, oh aye, that's him. So aye, it must be me, yeah. Wasn't that an action-packed 42 minutes? It wasn't expecting that. It was trying to be cunning, but remember, cunning isn't intelligent. So next week, tune in for when the lights are off and all the vehicles are gone. And there is a Maori tribe kind of celebrating some tradition in his front lawn when it's time to go and put the bin out. You just never know what's going to happen next. Yeah, I'm going for that. My prediction for next week is all lights off, all vehicles away, Maori tribe doing a dance in front garden to celebrate some kind of Maori tradition whilst I take my bin out. We'll see how it goes. Play this one out.